Welcome back to International Scale Modeler. I'm Lee. Today we're going to do a review of a kit that's something that I wouldn't normally buy, mainly because of the size of it and usually the price as well and things like that. It's a bit of a beast of a kit. It is the HobbyBoss Soviet T-34 85 in 1/16 flavour. As you can see, quite a large kit. Now, as I say, it's not something I would normally do this, but I suddenly saw on eBay that it was £34 with postage included from Creative Models, I believe it was. They must have been having a special on them because a lot of resellers at the same time all of a sudden put them up for the same sort of price. Usually I think it retails for about £70 or £80, something like that. But I mean, for 35 quid postage, I mean this thing is enormous. I have had a look in the box as well, and it's a massive chunk of plastic. Now my plans for this, I'm going to take a long time doing this because it's 1/16. It's going to be one of these ones I can keep in a large tub of doom, a big 50-litre rub. I'm going to do what something like Cohen's done on his Tiger, his 1/16 Tiger, where he's fully upgraded it and done all these extra little bits, loads of scratch building and things like that, and that's what I plan to do with this. So it's going to be a long-term thing. There is no interior, there's not a lot of aftermarket either, so there's a few bits and bobs which I will get, and it'll be one of those long-term projects that I think I'll have on the back burner. A little bit smaller than the HobbyBoss Dora that I've got, so a bit more manageable I think when I move to Spain, so which is very, very soon. So what I'm going to do, we're going to have a quick look in the box. There aren't any reviews for this on the internet as I do this today, so this will be the first one, so hopefully it'll be quite nice. But let's have a look inside the box. It is absolutely enormous. Right, okay then, so the HobbyBoss 1/16 Soviet T-34 85. As I say, I've got to be a bit of a sucker for the larger kits, even though it's going to take me quite a while to build them. But this is a big box. The box it came in was enormous. I mean, I probably won't be able to get all of this in shop, but there you go. Lovely box art. Really is very evocative of a scene from World War II. I absolutely love that, and I love good box art because it draws you into the model straight away. We've got, as I say, it's a big box. On the side of the box, we've got a big write-up here about the Soviet T-34 85, which is most say was the best tank of World War II. It was a bit of everything for everybody. Other things, just a preview of the decal sheet, a few other odds and sods, and that's about it for the outside really. Not a lot. It's a nice strong box, very sturdy, which I think it's going to need to be. So let's have a look inside and see what we've got. And as I said, I picked this up cheap for £34, posted off of eBay from Creative Models, you know, I think the usual price is about 70-80 quid, but I'll flash up the usual price because that's what you're going to pay most of the time. So let's get everything out. As you can see, it's very well packed, all in separate boxes. You've got this sheet here, this plastic thing here, it's got a lot of separate bits as well, and two other boxes inside this big box. So I'm just going to take everything out. Let's take these boxes out. And then you've got this here, and then you've got another box under here which has got more sprues and everything in as well. So we'll put all this to the side, and we'll put this down here because there's no way that's going to go onto the surface at all. So what I can do is, just so you get an idea, we can pop that up there so you know what we're getting at when we're working here. Let's move this out of the way for you as well. Right, okay, so let's start on the boxes. Let's start on box A first. Okay, so we get a couple of boxes like this, as you can see, very nice indeed. Very well packaged, that's for sure. So let's have a look. Box A, let's see what we get in box A. I haven't had a look in these, as you can tell. They're very tight to get open, which is good. Right, in this box we have turret ring, tracks and tyres, and lots of pins and stuff. So let's have a look. So first bag, what you have is the lower hull, lower turret. As you can see, it's got these few bits and bobs here. You can just see here. They'll need just smoothing out, and then you've got this fine texture on the surface. Now this texture, where you've got these marks here, is going to need smoothing down and then retexturing, which you can do with a bit of Mr. Surfacer 500, something like that, and that will get you a nice smooth surface, nice little rough surface back if you really need to, which I think you're going to do. As you can see, looks like lots of locating pin areas and things like that. It is a large, you think that's the lower part of the turret ring as well, so it's absolutely fantastic. You've then got the upper part of the turret. Let's have a look in here. Absolutely enormous. As you can see, again, there's a few little blemishes on there. I've got to say that there's a bit of flash and a few bits and bobs around these holes that it's going to need some tidy up and some clean up. The texture's nice. That texture's going to show through really well. I think, you know, with these old Soviet tanks, it might be worth, especially at this scale, if you're going to make it using that, maybe putting some extra dings and dents in that as well, rather than just keeping it normal. But to give you an idea, that's the turret, that's my hand, and I haven't got small hands. That is absolutely enormous. Obviously you've got a join there that it looks like on the picture here there is actually a join, so I'm going to check your references on this. As I say, I'm going to absolutely super detail this from start to finish, like Cohen did. Mike, you are my inspiration, sir. And we've got a little bag here. Oh, that was close. Got the mantlet. Again, it's got a nice little texture on it. A little bit of flash, tidy up and things like that is going to be needed. But again, you can see the size of that. It's not bad. You've then got this dome for the rear top of the turret. It fits on here, like so. It's almost like a big snap together kit where it's so big. But, and we've got the sides here of the mantlet and everything. And we've got the hatch. Now the hatch, it looks very plain. Not a great load of detail there. So as I was going to say, this is going to need, with anything this size, I think the detail is going to be easy to do because it's a fair size, so it's not too fiddly, but you have to get it right, I think, more than anything, because it's going to show up. You've then got a cog here for the turret, I would imagine, so it makes the turret movable, because I know you can RC this, you can make this an RC, it's that big. So I think that they've done that with that in mind. You've then got a little sprue of extras on here, just odds and sods really, like a toolbox and things like that, a cover. Nothing to write home about. The details are, you know, good. They're not amazing, but they are good. You've then got sprockets in that. Some lovely detail. Again, they've got this texture right inside the wheel here, which is nice, which will show up on your paint. Very good indeed. As you can see, these two fit together like so, and that would be your inside. So very good so far. We've got 2 packs of rubber wheels. I'm just going to do the 1 pack, obviously. Don't need the other one. Now, I'm a fan of rubber wheels when there's not too much work on them. These have got a mould line down the centre, which I think is meant to be there. So that's very handy. So near on minimal cleanup, it's just a little bit of flash around the rubber here, and on a few places on the other ones they're a little bit misshapen, but that's not going to be a problem. But they really do look like a nice rubber. I don't think they're going to need spraying. They're just going to need maybe scuffing a little bit and weathering, and they'll be absolutely fantastic. There's plenty of those. I do like rubber wheels because nothing depicts rubber better than rubber, I feel. You've then got bags of tracks. Now the tracks are actually, let's get one so we can have a good look at the tracks. I'll get 2 out for you. You've got the opposite numbers in each bag, 1 of each. Okay, so we'll get rid of those. Let's zoom you in a bit just so that you can see these a bit better. Okay, and as you can see, they've got this. They're going to need a bit of cleaning up. You know, on the outside. This is the side you're going to see. He's got a lot of EPMs there. A lot of EPMs, as you can see. Now, I don't know off the top of my head if they're meant to be there, if they're actually meant to be like that. That might be part of the track itself. If not, that is a lot of tidy up and clean up. Now, I think there is a set of aftermarket link tracks for this. And it's a case of, for a change, I'm going to go balls out on the aftermarket on this. I think it warrants it. Where I've saved so much money on the actual price of the kit, I think I've got a little bit extra to spare when I come to, you know, I think if you were buying it normally, you would have spent 30 quid on aftermarket. I think now that I've paid 30 quid, I can spend 70 quid on aftermarket, which pretty much covers most of it. You've then got some bags here. I'm not going to open all these. You've got all the pins here, some springs, more springs, nuts, some screws, all sorts of odds and sods. I mean, obviously this is how you're going to fix a lot of it because it's so big and heavy, but there's a whole ton of them, a whole plethora of all sorts of odds and sods and everything. So that's nice. You then got another little bag of tracks as well. So I'm going to pop those back in the box because I really don't want to lose any of the parts of this. So if you just bear with me while I pop all these back in. Okay. And this is going to be one of those builds that is going to be a real... I like the way that when Cohen, they got the buddy build for the 116 Tigers on the forum, and you know, I think that's been going over 6 months now. You know, Cohen, I think, has been the first to finish, but we've got a couple of other guys that are still doing theirs, like Hamilcar Barkas and Pedro Fernandez and those, so we're waiting for those guys to finish. Right, so second box, box B, but that's what I plan to do anyway, something similar. Right, okay, we have the... Oh my god, look at the size of that. Holy smacking assholes, as my dad used to say. Right, let's have a look at this. This is humongous. Okay, that's my lower arm. That really is a beast. And I don't know, but I think that's probably longer than the Tiger. It's not as big as the Tiger, I would imagine, but it's longer. So detail, we've got this very rough surface, as you can see, all around the side of the hole. The mouldings look clean and fresh. They're not pin sharp. They are a bit soft around places like this. But I think that it's, I mean, once you add all the other detail again, I mean, it will mould all in. You've got the weld marks down the seams here, which is nice to see. You've got this grill. I think you can get PE replacement for this, I've seen, and for on here, which I will do. There's no flash around the edge of the skirts and everything, so that's nice. There's minimal cleanup on that. You can see all these location places. This looks like it's all going to be screws and things like that. But absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. So let's pop that over there. So let's have a look at the lower hull. And we've got all the wheels in here as well. Just to one side. So we've got this absolutely fantastic bit of copper wire. Really is thick. So really nice rope. Really nice feel to that. That's going to come out lovely. I like that. We've got the barrel, which is a two-piece barrel. Let's have a look at this. Now I can't remember if there's an aftermarket barrel. I'm pretty sure there will be. If there's tracks in that. So this will be something that I will not be using. I will be getting an aftermarket. But just popping this together. There's a little bit of flash on there. Let's just pop this together and see how we do. It's not textured or anything. It is going to need a lot of cleanup on it. But it's one of those barrels that doesn't have any brakes on the end or anything like that, so it's going to be very easy to make it look nice. Wouldn't be a hard job, literally a bit of Tamiya extra thin, so a couple of clamps, and then a bit of work. If you push it together, once you've got the thin on there, you won't even need any filler, because the thin will mount the plastic, and then you just come along with the sander and Bob's your uncle. But look at that, it's a nice size. So but you've got the lower hull. Okay, not a lot of detail on there. Again, you've got a battery space there. Takes three AAAs and a PP9 by the looks of it. But you can see this is made for RC, so but I'm not going to do that obviously. What I will do is I'll probably weight it down with some weights as well, just to give it that realistic effect. But not a lot of detail to talk about there. But there is the compartment for a battery. I mean, you've got all the electronic bits here for on off switch and things like that. So that's a nice touch if you're going to do that. But you pop that together and you're looking at quite a beast. I'll get that the first time. That is a beast. Absolutely enormous. So let's pop this back in its bags quickly. And, I mean that is some chunk of plastic. I mean I thought the kit on the Dora was big. This is bigger obviously. Pop that in there. We've also got the barrels. If I don't do this now, I'll pop it all up later. But the wheels themselves, let's have a look at one bag of wheels, much like the other ones I would imagine. They're going to need a bit of tidy up in there. They're quite flashy, I've got to say. If you can see that in there, they are quite flashy. So that's going to need, and every one is the same. And a lot around the circles. I suppose it's because it's so big. Even though you would have thought they would have been able to do a bit better. But yeah, so that's going to need a bit of tidy up and a bit of work. As I say, the wheels are big. Because they're so big, the tidy up isn't going to be that much of a pain, I've got to say. More bags of those, because it just makes it easy. You can get the sanders into all the places and everything. Let's have a quick look at the decals while we're here. Okay. And they are, I do what I like. If you have a look on this, number 36, you can see it looks like it's been painted on. They've actually done the same with the decals. I'm going to try and get you in, just so you can see this on the decals. There you go. You can see they've got this paint effect here on the decals with dripping paint. There's two ways you can do that. You can use the decals, or you can go ahead and try and do it yourself, which if you're going to do it this big, I suppose hand painting that isn't going to be too hard, because it's going to be, you know, you can see the size of them. So it might be worth having a go at hand painting those. Put lots of, what I might do is put lots of clear coat down beforehand, so if I need to clean it off, I can, and that will be easy to clean off. So that might be worth a go, I think. Why not? It's so big. And all the other lettering as well. Again, you've got a white line on here, that's going to be easy to paint. I don't think you're going to have any problems painting any of that whatsoever. So let's just pop this one away. Okay, so next we've got this it's all like a presentation case. I don't know why they've done it like this, probably just to make it look nice, but let's have a look inside. Right. Okay. So we've got suspension and everything in here. There we go. I'm not going to take it all out, it's all in there nice and snug. You've then got the lens. Oh, I do want to have a look at that. Right. You've then got the lens, which is a nice touch, as you can see. Very nice indeed. And that will go into this light. But apart from that, all very nice. I don't want to get it all out, it could be an absolute nightmare because it's all clipped in. So you've got all the suspension and everything, all looks very nice and dandy. Nothing to write home about. I was just going to say there's a piece missing, but there it is. But overall, you know, it's one of those kits that it is going to be a labour of love, I think, for sure. And then we've got a box some more plastic in here. Yeah, so it is going to be a labour of love, and I think if you want to do this properly, because it's so big, everything is going to be noticeable. So you're going to see every little blemish and things like that. So all you want to do is take your time and everything. We've got a lot of extras here. We've got like the handlebars and things like that. There doesn't seem to be any flash on those, which is really nice. Very nice indeed. Doesn't seem to be any cleanup needed on those, which is excellent on the rounded pieces. You've got all the odds and sods on here as well, and the hubcaps, and that is a flashless sprue. Very nice indeed. Again, still a lot of cleanup to do because the sprue gates are quite big on these, so you are going to need some good cleanup. But I would say that's a nice sprue, that one. There's no flash on that whatsoever. I think the wheels and the main body are going to need some cleanup, as you saw. But these bits look quite nice. Again, you've got some more grills here and everything, and a toolbox. A bit of flash there, easily cleaned. All the EPMs are inside and hidden. There is quite a bit of flash on here, as you can see, here, there and everywhere. So that sprue's not quite as tidy. But again, minimal cleanup. As I say, the cleanup on this, because the parts are so big, is going to be very, very easy indeed. I don't think it's going to take long to clean it up. It literally is a few strokes with a good sander, like UMP sanders, will be fine. You then got the barrels and the tanks. They're all very well, nice clean moulded, nice edges on those as well. Yeah, doesn't seem to be any flash on that, which is great. Clearing flash off of circles is horrible, but they look like they go together quite well. So very nice indeed on that one as well. All good in the hood. And then we've got the rear panel. And then we've got a mantlet there as well. That looks like it's for the. Yep. So that's just trying to see on whereabouts that goes on the model. Yeah, it's going to be for, I thought so. It's the front machine gun mantlet, so that's quite nice as well. Okay, it's got this rough surface, which is good. I don't know if it's going to be enough though. I've got to say, for the scale, I don't know. It might be worth doing your own rough surface on this. You know, if you're going to take your time and spend a lot of time and effort on it, you know, redoing parts that maybe not so good, it's going to be totally worth it. I mean, this is a good 6-month project, I think. You've then got it's just end caps and things like that. Looks like to hold suspensions, things like that in, so not a lot to talk about there. So that is actually all the plastic, as you can see. That's pretty much all of it. You've then got the instructions, quite a nice book. It's about A4. It's landscape and everything, big like the details. And on here you've got, so yeah, nice size, how to apply decals, and obviously a key to all the little symbols inside the book. So let's have a quick look inside. First of all, we've got sprue maps. Can't get all that all in the screen, look. You've then got sprue maps. They're not numbered. They've got part A's, part B's, but I mean, sprues are numbered, but I think really the pieces are so big and there's not actually that many parts to this model that you're not going to get lost if you take it all off and redo it and everything. It will be interesting to see these links, so I've got to say that's probably the worst part on it. So building it, step 1, put the wheels together, blah blah blah, with the axles and everything. The road wheels are all on, plugging all these gaps in the bottom, and then you've got workable suspension and everything, obviously with the springs. That's what the hard units are for, and that will be, they're all numbered left and right, so that's very good indeed. As you can see, a lot of this is all screw fixed and things like that. Oh yeah, those things in that packet with the spring ends. All goes on. Very easy to understand, very simple. I can't really spend too much time talking about them, to be honest with you. You've then got, it's saying pop the road wheels on. Obviously we don't do that. And then hubcaps and some more other little cogs and everything, if you're going to have it workable. Then it's saying put the tracks on. Don't do that, whatever you do. I've got to say, I've got those tracks are, I'll need to have another look at them, but I think I was looking at the wrong side, so I think we might be okay with regards to having a look at this. On here you've got these outside holes showing on every other track piece up the side there, so, but that is the only holes I can see on the details. I'd have to have a look at some reference pictures, but I'm telling you, there is a ton of filler and work to do if we have to fill in those EPMs on those tracks, because there's 5, 6 on each track. That's going to be an absolute nightmare. So that we'll have to have a look at. If there's aftermarket tracks, I'm going to go for them, because that will take a lifetime, and I haven't got that much patience. And then you putting the upper hull together, odds and sods, just greebles really, bits and bobs. And say some more tracks to go on the outside there. Again, you're not going to put them on yet. And then the tanks and everything else. Very simple instructions. As I say, there's not a lot of complicated pieces. You've got handholds and things like that. As I say, there will be more for aftermarket for that, but I'm sure there's a lot of stuff on here that is on the real tank that they haven't put on here, which I will add myself. And again, putting the barrel together and everything in a turret. And that's again putting the turret together, you know, saying screw it together, which I will do, and obviously I'll also glue it together as well. But then again, and then just popping it on, and then popping the lower and top holes together, and then there we are with this one last screw to fix the two together. It looks like a very simple build in itself, which it is, but it's going to be difficult with the fact that we're going to add all the greebles and things like that, so we're going to make it super detail it. But it doesn't look like there is a lot of detail on the real one. I will rust this up as well, because I think the Russian tanks were a bit battered and everything. We're then going to move on to the colour call-outs. We've got 2 markings. It doesn't say what squadron or anything like that from. We've got 215 here. Again, it's all this Russian green, and you can see that they put some rust streaks on there and everything as well. Colour call-outs, so Mr. Hobby, Vallejo, Model Master, Tamiya and Humbrol. Mr. Hobby are their main call-outs, which is excellent, which is what I use. We've then got the second marking, which is exactly the same, but with the white line and the painted thing. Obviously, that as with the cross on top, much more interesting, and this will be the scheme I'll go for sure. And again, it's showing all the rusting, and it's just a Russian green and a flat white. That's the 2 colours, old steel and tyre black. So it looks like painting's going to be, I think, not so much of a challenge, because it is so big, so you can get a lot of fading in there and what have you, lots of chipping obviously, and I'm definitely going to go for the rush streaking on that one as well. But overall, it's a good, for 35 quid for a 116 tank that's 35 pounds. I don't think you can grumble whatsoever at that. I know it's usually 60, 70, 80 pounds, whatever it is. I've got to flash the price up. But even so at that, if you're going to, you know, take it as a long-term project and super detail it, I think it's a fantastic buy. Great kit, needs a bit of work. The tracks, I've got to say, I'm a little bit worried about those tracks, and I will go for full aftermarket everything on this and spend a little bit of cash on it. It's going to be big. You know, it's yay big. It's going to take up real big space and real estate in my display cabinet, and everyone's eyes are going to be naturally drawn to it because it's so big. So I'm going to spend a lot of time and everything and effort on that. But for me, that's a thumbs up, and for that price, I think it's an absolute bargain. But that is the HobbyBoss 116 Soviet T-34 85 tank, and I'd say if you can find it at that 35 price, get it. Even if it's 60, 70 pounds, still worth it if you're into your big tanks and everything. That's enough for me. Take care. See you soon. Bye bye.